This Pecha Kucha about Alex Huxley's novel Brave New World shows the correlation between the characters in the book and the real-life people that were influential when this book was written. This Pecha Kucha has been produced by Zach, Wasef, Kathleen, and Robbie. The first character that we have chosen is Helmholtz Watson. This character is a mashup of Hermann von Helmholtz and John B. Watson. Hermann von Helmholtz, on the left, of Germany, was born August 31, 1821. Before studying the nature and properties of matter and energy, otherwise known as physics, and becoming a physician, Hermann was in the army in 1843. Helmholtz is most known for his contribution to physics and his breakthrough research on the nervous system, as well as the functions of the eye. In physics, Helmholtz is often considered the true originator of the concept of conservation of energy. He proposed that energy could not be created or destroyed. Unlike some people, Helmholtz insisted that all knowledge came through the senses. Furthermore, all science could and should be reduced to the laws of classical mechanics, which is, in his view, encompassed matter, force, and later energy as the whole of reality. In 1852, after a few calculations experienced with a frog, Helmholtz announced the impulse velocity within the nervous system. This velocity was measured as speed of nervous impulse to be about 1/10 the speed of sound. In his time, this was an incredible discovery. As a doctor, Helmholtz invented the ophthalmoscope in order to better understand the function of the eye. This device was used to observe the retina. Even today, a slightly modified form is still used by modern eye specialists. Helmholtz has also designed a device used to measure the curvature of the eye, called an ophthalmometer. Hermann von Helmholtz advanced the theory of three-color vision, which helps ophthalmologists to understand the nature of color blindness and other conditions. Our next real-life person, John B. Watson, was born January 9, 1878 in South Carolina. He attended school at the University of Chicago. Watson, being a psychologist, was seen as a radical and extreme anti-mentalism. He believed psychology should be the science of observable behavior. In his own experiments, Watson applied much of the same thinking as Pavlov. Pavlov, a German scientist, rang a bell every time he fed a dog. Over time, the bell ring alerted the dog that it was either lunch or dinner time. And on occasion of ringing the bell, the dog's mouth would start to water, expecting food. Even though Pavlov stopped serving the dog food, he still rang the bell, which triggered the watering of the mouth. In Watson's most famous and controversial experiment, known today as Little Albert experiment, he conditioned a small child to fear a white rat. Watson and his partner accomplished this by repeatedly pairing the white rat with a loud, frightening clanking noise. They were able to demonstrate that this fear could be generalized to other white furry objects, just like Pavlov associated bells with food. Watson set the stage for behaviorism, goal being to explain relationships between antecedent conditions, stimuli, behavior responses, and consequences, reward, punishment, or neutral effect. And similar conditioning and behavior modification are still widely used in therapy and behavioral training today to help clients change problematic behaviors and develop new skills. Watson also believed strongly against nurturing children and urged parents to be open with their children about sexuality. He began studying the behavior of children as well and concluding that humans were simply more complicated than animals, but operated on the same principles. He believed all animals were extremely complex machines that responded to situations according to their nerve pathways that were conditioned by experience. This is significant in our text, Brave New World, because for readers in 1932, this might have made the readers picture Helmholtz Watson as someone in agreement with the government's disapproval of maternal-paternal relationships. These allusions would also put an image of colder person that advocated science more than the love for first-time readers in 1900s. Our second character, Clara Detering, is a mashup of Clara Ford on the left and Sir Henry Detering on the right. Clara Jane Bryant married Henry Ford April 11, 1888. Her husband was the founder of the Ford Motor Company and the father of the assembly line and of mass production. Henry Ford is famous for stating, "History is more or less bunk. It's tradition. We don't want tradition. We want to live in the present, and the only history that is worth a thought is the history that we make today." Like society in Brave New World, he believed in living in the present, not in the past. Mustafa Mann, the resident controller for Western Europe, quotes Ford in the novel saying, "History is bunk." Henry Dietering, the founder for the Royal Dutch Petroleum Company, was born in 1866. He was the chairman for 36 years. His company is still one of the largest petroleum companies in the world. He is most known for the role of supplying the Allies with petroleum during World War I. He was called the Napoleon of oil, and was responsible for creating the tank fleet that allowed Royal Dutch to compete with Marcus Samuel's Shell Company. He led Royal Dutch to several major mergers and acquisitions, including a merger with a Shell Transport and Trading Company in 1907 and the purchase of Azerbaijan oil fields from the Rothschild family in 1911. Henry Dietering did not support communism, but as he grew older, he became more and more of an admirer of the German Nazi Party. In 1936, he discussed the sale of a year's oil supply with the Nazi Party and was forced to resign the following year. Due to Henry's interest in the German Nazi Party, readers might relate Claire to Hitler by assuming that they both support the idea that there is a superior race. In Brave New World, this is similar to the caste system of the futuristic time. Outside of his life working for the company, Henry was married 3 times and had 7 children. This set the tone for the book because it demonstrates how both people are not in exclusive relationships. With this in mind, the reader could infer Clara could possibly be the type of person who sleeps around a lot, like a good model citizen in the book Brave New World. Also, Henry was a great businessman and salesperson. So this may lead readers to think Clara is a very manipulative and smart person that gets what she wants, when she wants it. Which as shown is exactly what happens in Huxley's novel Brave New World.